Rugrats is quintessential 90s television. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we grew up with in the 90s as 90s kids. This and Rocko's Modern Life, and The Angry Beavers, The Wild Thornberrys, and even some of the earlier 90s cartoons like Chippendale Rescue Rangers or DuckTales. These were the things that made our television lives in the 90s. Now, even though Rugrats centers around a bunch of babies, this is not really a show for toddlers per se. This is a show that people of all ages can enjoy. And I think the same things can be said for this game. Rugrats Search for Reptar for the PlayStation 1 is a pretty good game. Now, the game basically is a bunch of mini games, which you will enter into by selecting different objects within the house from the television show. Rugrats was huge in the 90s, and of course they had a bunch of different merchandise. The bed sets. They had bed sets. They had dolls. There were Burger King Rugrats toys in their Happy Meals. There was all kinds of shit. And of course, they did quite a few video games. And the video game I'm playing right now that you're watching me play, and that I'm going to kind of review, is Rugrats Search for Reptar for the PlayStation 1. Rugrats Search for Reptar was a PlayStation 1 game released back in 1998. And believe it or not, it was actually one of the games that got a lot of people to notice the PS1. The show, unlike a lot of cartoons at that time, featured story progression. Viewers got to see characters develop as time went on, and the show also dealt with themes such as death and even childbirth. Really, the show stayed close to the real world, but they also did it in a way to avoid offending anyone, and they also kept it child-friendly. The series was also well received by Christians and Jewish families, as well with its Christian and Jewish TV specials. In short, Rugrats was just about the perfect family cartoon, and the series was loved by many. So it's only natural for a video game to be based on it, right? The story for Search for Reptar is actually very simple. And it starts out like most TV show episodes. The babies are at Tommy's house playing like usual, and Tommy is stomping around his living room pretending to be everyone's favorite dinosaur, Reptar. "Where's my Reptar puzzle?" he roars as he stomps over to a toy Reptar. Now, inside the toy Reptar are pieces to a Reptar puzzle. However, it seems that Tommy has lost all but a single piece. Now, although he is saddened by the fact that his puzzle is missing, Tommy decides to put aside his feelings, have an adventure, and find the missing pieces. And thus begins the epic journey within this residential home full of brats and odd adults. Really, the overall story is very basic. But the thing is, this is just a small part of a lot of other stories. Search for Reptar just isn't a brand new Rugrats adventure, but rather a collection of most of the babies' adventures from the TV show itself. Every single level in this game is an episode from the actual show, and each one of these levels have their own story. From finding Grandpa's dentures during the Grandpa's Teeth episode to finding to bring the light back to the world and let there be light. Just like in the show, the episode stories include both actual stories and adventure stories, and they are pretty well balanced between the two. For example, in the actual stories, Tommy and his friends are doing something in the real world, while in the adventure stories, they are going on made-up adventures, such as exploring an alien spaceship. For the most part, these stories play out the way they did in the cartoon, but since you are in control, there are bound to be some differences in them. The gameplay in Search for Reptar actually changes based on what you are doing, so because of that, I will only be covering the basics in this review. The controls are simple. You can move with the D-pad, you jump with X as usual, you walk slower with square, Circle picks up / puts down objects, and triangle throws objects and is used to start levels. These controls are very basic controls for a game like this, but they do work pretty well. Although nowadays they feel a bit dated with some stiff movements, but for the time they still did a good job. The house. The biggest part of the gameplay and one of the biggest features of this game is Tommy's house. This is the sort of thing you just don't normally see with today's games, and it was a dream come true for a lot of Rugrats fans, I'm sure. To sum it up, Tommy's house is the hub world of this game, and you can explore every inch of it. Yes, that's right. Remember all of the places you watched the babies go to in the cartoon? Well, now you can go there also. Just like in the show, the house is made up of the following rooms. There's the living room with the playpen. There's the kitchen with the laundry room. There's the backyard. There's the hallway / office rooms outside of the kitchen. There's the basement. There's the upstairs. There's Tommy's parents' room. There's his room. There's Grandpa's room. There's a guest room. There's a bathroom. Just like I said, basically every room from the cartoon is here, and you can finally explore it all for yourself. A big aspect of Search for Reptar is also the ability to play with the world. You can pick up toys and objects and, in a sense, play with just about everything you see. A lot of the house / world in this game is interactive, and sometimes you will actually need to do so to complete levels. For example, in the Let There Be Light level, you need to use flashlights to scare off shadow monster looking ghosts. Although this will most likely be a completely ignored feature by most teen and adult players, it is something most kids will enjoy, and that makes it a worthwhile addition to the game. Now, a lot of the levels in Search for Reptar are actually basically just minigame style levels, and most of them really aren't worth playing more than once. Some of them can be annoying, such as some of the circus levels in this game, but some of them are actually quite good and might keep you coming back for more. The Ice Cream Mountain stage is one of them, and in this stage you get to play mini golf, and that might sound boring, but it is addictive. I was addicted to this. I don't even like golf, but I was addicted to the mini golf levels in this game. I can remember 3 of my friends, Tom, Jim, and Danny, we used to sit around in our living room, and our friends in high school, while they were having Halo parties, not rainbow parties, Halo parties, me and my friends would sit around in banana hammocks and Crocs, and we would play Rugrats, Search for Reptar, mini golf. Yes, that's right. I just said it. Rugrats mini golf parties. And no, I'm not gay. Have I rubbed my flaccid genitals up across another guy's leg in my life? Yes. Yes, I have, but I was drunk. Just like with most games and platforming games from the 90s, Search for Reptar has hidden collectibles in the form of Reptar bars. Now, these bars are hidden all over the world, and by collecting them, you can unlock some hidden bonuses. This is a game everyone can beat. Although there's a wide range of levels in Search for Reptar, it is set up so just about anyone can beat it. Early on, your options are limited. Later on, a lot of levels open up and you can actually decide if you want to play them or not. You do not have to finish every level to get every puzzle piece, and that makes it so even younger children can make it to the end of this game. It's a pretty smart design for a kid's game, and it makes it so just about anyone can enjoy it. So in closing, when you look at this game for what it is, through the eyes of someone that is fair and balanced, this game came out in 1998. So you can't expect it to be Grand Theft Auto 5 or Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, whatever the fuck it's called. You gotta look at this with a fair viewpoint. Okay, this game came out in 1998, so it doesn't have state-of-the-art graphics. It doesn't have a huge open world, because none of that was possible in 1998. If you look at Rugrats Search for Reptar from the viewpoint of a child or a longtime Rugrats fan, you will see that this game is actually pretty amazing for its time. It allowed you to enter the Rugrats world. It had hours worth of gameplay. Everyone's favorite characters were there, and the game featured a wide range of gameplay types. Really, it is a really good children's game, a very good TV show-based game, and it's the type of game you can just replay over and over again. The music was great. It was filled with fan service, and it was just a really nice PlayStation 1 game. However, that doesn't mean it doesn't have its problems. If you look at it from today's standards, the game is very dated. The 3D models really show how limited the PlayStation really was. The controls can feel pretty stiff. The camera has problems at times. Some of the levels are annoying and better not played, and a few of the levels felt like they were lazily designed. Chances are it isn't a game you would want to go back and play if you missed out on it the first time, but back then it was actually really good. Still, times have changed, and since the show has been off the air for years, I'm pretty sure even the kids of 2013 wouldn't want to go back and play this one. If you're a huge Rugrats fan, you might want to check this out, but if not, this game is better left alone. Even so, considering what this game used to be back then, if I was to give it a rating, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and goodbye, my friends.
If you see Reptar, all citizens are advised to run like crazy.